Howdy there, friends, family, adversaries, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary folks. Welcome to the show. Today we are talking about Gore by the Deftones. It should be exciting, but before we begin, I need to address a disclaimer. Getting concert video or music video footage is very difficult because all those videos are under copyright protection, so it makes it very hard to even get access to those. So that means that this video will mostly, if not entirely, be using still images. I know it's not optimal, but that's just the way it is. And with that, on to the video. Most long-running big-name bands have some polarizing albums in their discography. While fans can easily divvy up a popular band's musical catalog into what they like and dislike, some releases prove more contentious. LPs like Metallica's Untitled record dubbed the Black Album and Pantera's The Great Southern Trendkill divide listeners into love it or loathe it camps. Opinions of these albums and many others are all over the map, inspiring fierce debate from fans and detractors that can last years, and as a result, it is exceedingly difficult for an outsider to gauge whether the LP is good or bad. The Deftones' 8th album, Gore, is one of these LPs of debatable quality. Released in 2016, Gore was a divisive record that split the opinion of Deftones' sizable fan base. While the album received positive reviews when released, many longtime fans view Gore as either one of the Deftones' worst records or among the group's very best, and there is little in the way of middle ground. Since Gore's release, Deftones fans have struck lines in the sand, willing to argue that Gore is either a genius masterpiece or a major misstep for this legendary band. For those who enjoy Deftones, it is an inescapable conflict. Gore's experimental nature is at the root of this mostly good-natured battle of the fans. Deftones have a sonically diverse discography ranging from melodic to heavy, and with Gore, Deftones combine both of these disparate styles together to create something entirely new, both in terms of creativity and the album's mix. This, however, leads into a very unique problem. On past albums, slow melodic songs like Digital Bath or chaotic ragers like My Own Summer, Shove It were more distinct tracks rather than an amalgamation of each other. For some who desire for Deftones to retread the musical ground that made the band a big hit in the metal, rock, and alternative scene, the fusion of these different sounds does not mesh with what those fans enjoy about the band, especially considering the album's mix, which is an overwhelming criticism on Reddit. Many listeners enjoy Deftones for different reasons, and when a band with that many dimensions begins to experiment with their sound like on Gore, it's only natural that some listeners will recoil. Liking or disliking any album comes down to personal taste, and this is especially true for Gore. Personally, I love Gore. Even though I've pretty much enjoyed every Deftones album on some level, Gore is one of my absolute favorites. From the opening track Prayers Triangles to the finale Rubicon, I adore Gore. The LP is a great showcase of the Deftones' talent. The heavy guitar riffs pack a punch, and Chino Moreno's vocals are seductively catchy. While the loud guitar play and the sensual vocal performance might seem jarring on paper, in my opinion, they work smoothly in cohesion on Gore. Even more importantly, these elements working in tandem created the Deftones' most unique sound to date, and I loved every second of it. Gore is a complete experience. While some folks might criticize the album's mix as being inconsistent, all the musical elements coalesce into an atmospheric barrage of sounds. On tracks like Acid Hologram, Heart's Wires, and Phantom Bride, I felt a wave of introspection wash over me while listening to the music. Gore captures my imagination, and when listened to as a whole album, the near meditative experience is transformative. Unlike other great Deftones LPs like Around the Fur, Diamond Eyes, and even the band's best album, White Pony, Gore is good because it's a sublime listening experience rather than just an album containing top-tier tracks. It's truly on another level. The songs themselves are lights out on their own merits. To list, Prayers and Triangles establishes Gore's depressive yet melodic tone, Acid Hologram contains some epic guitar riffs, Doomed User sucker punches the listener with hard riffs before breaking away into a beautiful chorus, Moreno's voice is downright alluring in geometric headdress, Heart's Wires has an epic build-up and payoff and is my favorite song on Gore, Patera Infamanti picks up the album's pace, Moreno's voice is seductively good on Exanon, Elmerl is a melancholic yet soothing listen, the monstrous guitar riffs kick back into overdrive on the title track Gore, Phantom Bride has the best vocal hook on the album, and last but not least, Rubicon closes the album by fusing Moreno's melodic vocals and the impactful guitar riffs together perfectly. From front to back, Gore is a stellar record with minimal faults, and I just can't get enough of it. I really enjoy it. With that said, Gore isn't for everyone. Hell, judging by Reddit, it isn't even for every Deftones fan. In fact, some folks will likely balk at my rationale to defend Gore from its harshest critics. After all, many a Deftones fan describe Gore's mix as muddy. Where the sound quality in past Deftones albums had more clarity, Gore is comparatively a rougher experience, and I cannot really argue against that. However, I believe Gore's mix was by design. Despite how some of the instruments are not in crystal clear audio, Gore is meant to be taken as a whole complete package rather than in parts, and in this regard, Gore is among the Deftones' best releases. The album is the perfect fusion of heavy and melodic, and is a unique release in Deftones' discography, which is saying something because Deftones are a band whose music catalog is already unique. Until Deftones' eventual 9th album releases, we will still have Gore, whether you love it or you hate it. And with that, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like rating and subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment telling me what you think about Deftones and Gore. The engagement helps more people find these videos and shows that folks enjoy this style of content. Also, please consider contributing to my Patreon page. Every dollar helps keep this show running and improving it. And speaking of Patreon, I just want to thank my high tier patrons, Slasher Avails, Mom, Miles Nelson, and David Devlin. Thank you so much for supporting what I do. Love y'all.